The father would habitually fill his son's school bag with stones and lead him to school with a rope. On the way, they happened to run into their neighbors. He nervously hugged his son and hid behind a car. After the neighbors left, the father let out a sigh of relief and then picked up a brick from the ground, putting it into his son's school bag. He used to have a happy family, playing outside with his son every morning. One day, he blew on a dandelion to amuse his son, but a gust of wind carried the boy up into the air. Hearing the neighbor's door open, he quickly brought his son back down and greeted them as if nothing had happened. However, the boy suddenly flew over excitedly. The neighbors were so scared that they hurried away, and even a mother and daughter across the street gave them strange looks. The father quickly carried his son back home, but he still saw the neighbors whispering through the window. Another gust of wind lifted the boy into the air again. But the father didn't want to face those strange looks anymore, so he kept his son inside the house. As the boy grew older, he had to go to school. To suppress his son's superpowers, the father dressed him in a coat, filled his school bag with dozens of pounds of stones, and tied a rope to him to prevent him from floating away. Despite these measures, the boy still floated up in excitement, and the father had to hold him in his arms. The boy was then attracted by an amusement park on the roadside and ran over excitedly. The father stood there, lost in thought, wishing his son could play like a normal child. But when he came to his senses and tried to leave, he found that the boy was gone. He frantically searched and discovered that his son had floated into the park. The father rushed in, but the boy didn't want to leave with him. He flew to the other side, scaring away a child on the slide. The boy then flew up to the basketball hoop, but the father pulled him down. The father dragged the boy home, but the boy struggled fiercely, protesting his father's control for the first time. The father angrily scolded the boy and then stopped, stunned. The boy stopped struggling as well, just standing there with his cap on. The father picked up the boy and, seeing his crying son in his arms, decided to accept his son's uniqueness and face other people's gazes together. He then carried his son to the swing, took off his coat, and swung with him. The boy opened his eyes and saw that his father, who had been holding him back, was now playing with him. He smiled again. This time, when the boy spread his arms, the father pushed him up into the sky. The boy was finally free to soar in his own world without worrying about others' opinions.